they have done this beautifully. This is NAWA, largest episodic TV show in the Carolinas area. It's NAWA Wrestling, of course. And they have made or created a beautiful angle, which is that the Allen brothers, who, I mean, we started off with just Steve and Robert, and now there's about 5 of them in the Allen brothers because they brought other people in like Mason and Justin Kindred, Allen. And what they've done recently is, rather than go through the trouble of trying to win the belts via the rule book or wrestling, which is why they're there, they've tried and not succeeded. So rather than do that, and they have been tag champions in the past, of course, not at the moment, they've decided that they will hang around after matches and take those belts and then call themselves the champions. So, for instance, they took the tag belts from the Wranglers. They took Big Donnie's heavyweight championship belt, and they recently took Zay Vega's TV championship belt, isn't it? Does he call the belt Gina? I think he does. Anyway, that's been an angle that's been going on for the last month and a half or so, beautifully segueing into, and we were talking about this last week, and I thought, oh yes, I'd forgotten about that, War Games. So, it is War Games. It's called War Games, I think. It's Thunderdome 5. Is it War Games? I'm not quite sure if they have called it that, but it's 2 rings, and there are 2 teams. 2 people enter. There's a coin toss, and one team enters 5 minutes later, 1 person, and every 2 minutes, the match doesn't start until the last person enters. All of that, yeah. And then 1 pin to a finish. So they've really created this well, cause you can now have Team NAWA, that would be Big Donnie, of course, and the Wranglers, of course, and Zay Vega, of course, and the Big Nasty Bastard BNB versus the Allens and AJ Frost. So actually, there's 5, isn't there? So hang on, who's in the match with? Who's in the NAWA team? Who else is in the NAWA team? BNB, the Wranglers, Big Donnie, Zay Vega. It's only 4, isn't it? Oh well, we'll see what happens as we go on, won't we? Anyway, first of all, we've got Tucker Rhodes. Of course, it's a cage around the 2 rings, as you know. That's what happens in War Games, folks. And a fan, by the way, has made an Allen Brothers sign. It looks like he's taken a load of time at it. I wouldn't have expected that. They are very good heels, the Allen Brothers, but some people like heels. So there you go. By the way, I've got a bit of a parting on the hair this week. So that's very nicely done, beautifully seated. But it's standing up a bit here. Might have to buy some pomade or Brill cream, Brilliantine it used to be called, in the 30s and 40s. I wasn't alive then, folks, but, almost. Anyway, the first one, so yes, back to this banner, which looks really nicely done. BNB spits on it. I mean, that's a fan's banner, even though the Allens are behind it goading you. It's a fan's banner. Very naughty. So, Tucker Rhodes is in first, looking at my notes, with Steve Allen, the smaller of the 2 Allen brothers, but probably the nastier of the 2. He's certainly got the louder mouth. Now, Allen avoids him, first of all, and Michael Elliott, who's there with Josh Paul Sellers, which is lovely, says he might do this for the next 5 minutes until one of his team comes to join him, but no. Rhodes throws him down. There's an enziguri from Robert Allen. And then a Samoan drop, or the cowboy drop as I like to call it, from Tucker Rhodes. Allen rakes the ice because he can. You can do anything you like. There are weapons as well in these 2 rings, folks. Huge Rhodes. I mean, he really leaned into it. Rhodes clothesline. Then he's caught, and there's a sort of urinagi with Allen. There's an elbow drop from Rhodes. It's good action, this, Then Allen hits Rhodes with a big spoon. It's a big spoon, like a ladle, I suppose, but not. Like a spoon that a dinner lady, or a lunch lady, as they call them in the US and the Canadian regions, I suspect, users. It's great, actually. Then that cowboy drop comes on again until Justin Kindred comes in to make it a 2-on-1 for the Allens. So Steve takes out the knee of Tucker Rhodes, and they both start to stomp him. They choke him with a big spoon. Here's your dinner. I can't taste it. Yeah. There's a chair shot. Then finger manipulation from Steve Allen. It does look like he really attacks the fingers, you know. And then Kindred gets a senton onto Tucker Rhodes and a chair. Zay is in then, goes straight after both of them because, of course, he's lost Gina. Lost Gina, his belt. Hits a Shining Wizard. There's a choke with an axe handle, which I think one of the Team NAWA has brought in. Kindred is then lawn darted into the cage. There's a drop kick by Zay Vega to the back of his head, which smacks his face right into it. It's really good action. Here comes AJ Frost, my favourite heel at the moment, I have to say. Tastes the drop kick. There's a chair thrown straight at Steve Allen, which connects. Kindred then suplexes Zay Vega onto a door in the corner, which does not break. That will be a feature of this match. Extra strong doors, as Josh Paul Seller says. That must have been, it must have been reinforced, that door. Yeah, doesn't look like it's a tough son of a gun, but it is. Mason Allen, is that in? Oh, by the way, before we get that, we've got BMB in. The big nasty bastard throws each one of them onto the cage. Frost is now bleeding, yes. Mason Allen's then in with a baseball bat shot on all of them. Then there's a Frost with he's got a kind of spike. He's brought a spike with him because, of course, that's all right. You can do that. So it looks like a piece of metal that he's used. You know, he's worked on in the shop. You know, to have a bit of that. So he's using that on BMB's head. Then he bites him. BMB bleeds through the mask, which is really nice, actually. Zay Vega is thrown against the door again. Doesn't break. Zay takes all the door shots here. Later on, Kindred will be thrown through a smaller door, but this bigger door, Zay takes all the shots, so it doesn't break. David Sellers is in, throws Mason into the cage repeatedly, I think 3 times actually. BMB then chokes Frost with a bull rope, and then you got BMB, the big nasty bastard, picks up a barbed wire chair, holds it above his head for ages, decides that he wants to hit Mason with it. I mean, he just plants it on his back. There you go. Did it scratch your skin? I just wanted to put it on your back. Oh, it's a bit sore. Right, I'll leave it. You really need to smack him with that, to be honest, if you're going to use it. Here comes Robert Allen. He's in. Now, you know, you've got him and Big Donnie to come. He and, I think it's his brother, attack BNB. And he's then thrown through the remains of the door. Oh, yes, Zay has been thrown again. A stereo throw through the door by this time. Finally breaks it. Took 3 times. So BMB is thrown through the remains of the door. The Allens get a missile dropkick and suplex combo, which is lovely. Big Donnie's in. Brings a trash can in first. Throws it before he gets in. It's picked up by the Allens. It's not good strategy, Big Donnie. Big D, not good strategy. Then there's an arm drag, which is quite nice. He manages to do that. Frost is backdropped from one ring to the other. He flies, folks. Really does. He almost hits the top of the cage there, you know. I think it's got a top on it. I think so. Then you've got Steve Allen stereo slammed through a door. That's that one. And Sellers takes Frost's spike from him and uses it on him, which, of course, you can do. If you're going to bring it in, that's what can happen, of course. BNB then stands between the 2 rings, takes the bull rope behind his head and pulls on it. Now, in the loop is, of course, Robert Allen. So he's being choked by that because he's pulling him. So he's being choked as he pulls him over his shoulder. In the meantime, Big Donnie is just repeatedly sandwiching him between him and BNB. And Robert Allen gives up. So they all get their belts back. And the other stip was that if the Allens won, they would distribute the belts in whichever way they saw fit. Now, I asked, does that mean they get the titles as well? I don't think they worked that through because they didn't expect that the Allens would win. But it's a good angle for War Games. And I have to say, it's blooming good as well, this War Games. There's a load of stuff going on. It really made me, I was really quite entertained by the whole thing. There wasn't a moment that where there was a nasty hiatus, so I thought, far too many spots going on. Really did well. And like the bananas in the background here, very, very tasty. Ta-ta.